Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool. But they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
Receiver to the near side, a little end around at the 30, 25, still on his feet at the 20, cuts back. This will be Trey Jones.
We have reached the halfway point in the Indiana High School football season. Welcome to Delta High School in Muncie, Indiana. A Hoosier Heritage Conference battle about to take forth right here on this very field between the Marauders of Mount Vernon and the home team this afternoon, the Delta Eagles. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures, one story at a time. Vernon Electric, serving the greater Indianapolis and surrounding counties. IU Sports Management, begin your journey today. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and community since 1955. IndianaSRN, proud to bring you 5 games on our Football Friday night for Week 5. And I'm pleasure to be joined by John Cupo this afternoon. We have a good one on our hands. Both teams coming off of a loss, so looking to bounce back. And also you add in that it's conference play, so it adds just a little bit more blood, if you will. For Mount Vernon, a very lopsided game going up against the juggernaut that is New Palestine last week. A 6-52 loss was that score there. Just nothing going right for the Marauders on their home field. Gave up 166 yards to New Pal's leading rusher Grayson Thomas. What exactly are some keys you're looking for this afternoon to try and bounce back and pick up a conference win?
Well, Jarrett, what I saw last week from both Mount Vernon and Delta was that they basically played mirror games of each other, both playing their rivals, their crosstown rivals, and both coming out on the losing end of those matchups. And the thing that I need to see from Mount Vernon tonight is how they react to being 1-4. 75% of this team does not know what it's like to be in this position this late in the season. Coach Leidy last year led them to the state title in 4A. And then before that, it was Mike Kirshner who had this team winning. So how does this team react to being 1-4 this late in the season?
And Vince Leidy in his second year is just 15-4, just those 4 losses. So you go into that state championship season, like you said last year, and now a completely different start to the 2022 season. And there are the Delta Eagles, who now come onto the field. A little bit of a different story for them this year. They're 3-1. The last time these two teams met, though, Mount Vernon got the better end of them in last year's game, winning by 25 and giving up 56 points to them. A very run-heavy offense for Delta. They averaged 210 rushing yards per game. A great game last week for Palmer Samuels in the loss to Yorktown. He ended the game with 56 yards rushing and a touchdown, but ultimately coming out on the losing side of that one in a rivalry game against Yorktown, 35-21.
Well, as you mentioned, Jarrett, they rely on the run game, and they do it with their front 5. They have a big line up front, average about 260 across that front 5, and why not? Get behind them, run, get the yards, just like Samuels did.
4 seniors on the offensive line for Delta as well. The experience will play into their hands. The 3-1 Eagles, coached by Chris Overholt in his 7th year, looking to take down the Marauders on their home field here tonight at Delta Stadium. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching Indiana High School football, powered by IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick, scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Getting closer to our 7:30 kickoff here at Delta Stadium. The Eagles and the Marauders set to do battle in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, where both teams have a 1-1 record there. For Delta, they're 3-1. Their first 3 games were wins for them over Muncie Central, and then they had 2 straight here at home, winners over Columbia City and Shelbyville before falling to that rival, like we mentioned last week, at Yorktown. Quite the game last week for Damari Hood, who's a junior wide receiver, arguably a career best for him as a junior. 10 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown. You got to think, John, that if Mount Vernon's key on that run game was Samuels, the senior back in the backfield, that there could be some opportunities open up for Caden Bond, the quarterback, to try and hook up with Hood again in back-to-back weeks.
Jared, definitely a matchup that I think Delta wants to go to early and often. Damari Hood, big kid, 6'4" junior, also a star basketball player for the Eagles. And the Mount Vernon quarterback's a little short, lots of speed in that secondary, but not matching the height. So if Bond can get to Hood, like as I mentioned, early and often, could be a long night for the Marauder secondary.
And on the other side, the quarterback for Mount Vernon, they're going to start off with the freshman. That's Luke Erdl. He's got a completion percentage of 53 this year. And there you see the coin toss. Mount Vernon will receive the opening kickoff for Erdl, who's coming in as a freshman, a lefty throwing guy. 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on this year. And, you know, we mentioned just how some of the struggles they've experienced, you know, the record starting off 1-3, trying to move guys around, get them in positions to where they think they can maximize their potential offensively. For Erdl, though, it seems like he's been able to solidify himself as a good future asset, I think, for this Marauder offense.
Yeah, if there was a pair of shoes to fill that was going to be the most difficult, it was at the quarterback position. I think everybody, not just in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, but Central Indiana knows about Garrick Sluniker and what he did for the Marauders in his 3 years as a starter there. But Luke Erdl, the freshman, getting some bugs out of the system, but I think he's going to be a good one for the next couple years here for Vince Leidy and these Mount Vernon Marauders.
The team in Navy, the Delta Eagles, they're set to kick things away, and for Delta, it'll be Stanley Braden. And he puts a boot into it. It's going to head over to the end zone and out of bounds. So starting the game off with the kickoff going out of bounds, Mount Vernon will have good field position to begin drive number 1. I want to remind you this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. So instead of taking the field position, Mount Vernon will opt to have them re-kick, and it just pushes them back 5 yards to the third. Nope, we're going to mark it off even more. So it will be at the 35. Yeah, just a 5-yard penalty.
I think Leidy saw the length of the kick, and with Brogan back there and also Burhen, I think he wants to get the ball in those guys' hands, see what they can do in the open field.
Jaliba Brogan, he's just a sophomore but has stepped up this year. We're going to see him at the tailback position. He stands at the 9 awaiting this kick. It's a low line drive kick this time, and Brogan able to pick things up. He's at the 25, middle of the field. He stays in between the hashes, and he's brought down from behind and is able to reach things out to the 33.
Tackle by 29, Chase Lennis.
Vernon tackle, Delta tackle was Lennis Chase, able to chase him down, if you will. And now here comes the Mount Vernon offense led by, it's not going to be Ertl. They're going to go with Eli Bridenthal to start things off.
The three-sport athlete senior.
They'll begin with the read option. Bridenthal will keep it himself, heading over to the Mount Vernon side of the field. Looks like he's got a first down. And a good opening play for the Marauders. Bridenthal with his legs picking up about 13.
And Jarrett, that's exactly what he's going to do all game, is that I don't see him throwing very much, but if he gets in that backfield formation, watch his use his legs, get good yardage for the Marauders.
For Bridenthal, he leads the team in rushing, now closing in on 190 yards on the ground. He'll keep it again. Similar play back to that side of the field, and avoiding tackler staying in bounds. Another first down, it looks like, for Bridenthal, and a late flag comes flying in.
Looks like there may have been a little bit of extra contact on the sideline over there, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And it
going back to the well.
It came from the lead referee, who's Jonathan Chalfant, and he gives us that it's a personal foul penalty. We'll get another look at it here.
Yeah, that was on Mount Vernon.
So negate the rushing yards for Bridenthal, and instead of a first down in Delta territory, they'll get pushed back to their own 43. Turns out to be just a 3-yard penalty, so it's 1st and 13. Bridenthal in the pistol with Brogan behind him. 2 receivers to the top. They fake the give up the middle. Bridenthal will pass it for the first time and had his man open out in the flat. Would have been a huge pickup, but just outside of the reach of Jake Lane.
Jake Lane getting the start today. Talking to Coach Leidy this week, Jake had a great week of practice. Didn't see much playing time last week, except in some minutes towards the end there against New Pal. But good speed, good height, the senior.
Lane just has 1 reception this year so far. And their leading receiver is Trey Jones. This time they go back to the running game. It's not Brogan this time, and it's going to be a loss of yards for Drew Martin on his first carry. The Eagles pushing him all the way back, even though forward progress just has him at a loss of 1.
That was Jermaine Bond coming up from his safety position. Actually, it was a gaggle of blue jerseys, but
Hunter Wallace got the tackle as well. Brogan's back in there on 3rd down and 14. Obvious passing situation, and immediately feeling the heat. Bridenthal able to escape. He's going to try and get it with his legs, running over a defender and plows forward. He actually might have this.
I think that second effort got him past the first down marker.
What an effort by Bridenthal, just plowing through to the defender, who is actually 2 yards in front of the line to gain.
And they will give it to him. 1st and 10, Mount Vernon.
Bridenthal already 2 carries, 27 yards. Some jumping at the line, going with the hard count. Offside, so 5 free yards given to Mount Vernon.
Still first down.
Brogan is back out there. Bridenthal in the usual pistol. Heavy set to the right, but they go counter to the left in a hole that Brogan squirms through, and actually second effort keeping his feet with them, and another first down for the Marauders.
That's great recognition by Brogan there. He started the Army crawl at about 8 yards into that run, was able to scurry along the ground there for an extra 3, another Mount Vernon first down.
Already a couple of first downs this drive, only 5 plays run by the Marauders. They're at the Delta 29. George Burhan in motion. Martin on the stretch run. Nice blocking out in front, and on 1st and 10, Martin picks up 8.
Mount Vernon using the left side of the offensive line. Coach Lighty making some wholesale changes across that line. Unfortunately, lost a great one in Roland Tremble Jr. last week. Tore his ACL. We wish nothing but the best for that young man. But running behind Tyler Kimberly and Kyler Grill, who's also one of the tackling machines on that Mount Vernon defense.
We mentioned 4 seniors on the offensive line for Delta. Same exact story for the Marauders. And they continue to run it. Bridenthal keeping it up the middle into the end zone. 7 plays and a score. Bridenthal starts the scoring off for Mount Vernon on the quarterback keeper right up the middle.
Just great recognition by the quarterback, number 9, Eli Bridenthal.
Trying to put the 7th point up on the board. Tyler Etherington will hold. Rylan Vinard will put it through. Kick looks good, and it sure is. So 7-0 early score for the Marauders with 8:31 left to play. Good opening drive to start things off here in HHC play on IndianaSRN. Good way to start this one if you are the visiting team. Mount Vernon goes 7 plays, 67 yards for the score, and both kickers in their first kickoff have put this one out of bounds.
Special team coach is going to be busy on Monday.
Looks like the Eagles may take the field position here. Let's go back to that touchdown run by Bridenthal.
So you're going to see it here, Jarrett. Just a direct snap, and that's a design play. Bridenthal up the middle. Basically, that whole drive is Bridenthal on the ground. Just got behind that offensive line on the right side, punched it in for 6.
Of those 7 plays, Bridenthal kept it on 3 of them, and he already has 46 yards on the ground. Mount Vernon's leading rusher continued to tack on the yardage, and so now it's Delta's turn to try and respond. They'll begin at their own 35. Bond will bring a man in motion. They'll give it to him on the jet sweep. It's Caleb Elliott, and he's tackled for a huge loss.
Kellen LaBelle read that all the way, chased him down from behind, tackled him for a loss. Kellen LaBelle, the brother of last year's champion and leading Mount Vernon rusher Keegan LaBelle, now at Marion University.
2nd down.
Pretty good family ties with men over the years.
Also, little brother Brennan, soccer and track on the pole vault.
The LaBelle family strong. Here's a strong run up the middle, right around midfield. Tackle, but not after a huge pickup on the carry was Nolan Carpenter. And Carpenter gets things out to the 49-yard line.
Jared, I saw this a lot last week against New Pal, is that you just get behind that big offensive line and shoot it right up the middle.
Huge hole up the middle.
Wasn't touched till about the 47-yard line there.
They'll bring Elliott in motion again. And it's another give up the middle. Run game looking good early on for the Eagles. That time, the handoff going to Palmer Samuels.
Brought down by 22, Ashton Julian.
Samuels, number 18, has a fullback in front of him. Hurry up offense, and just 2 yards picked up this time for Samuels.
Brought down by 56.
Bring up a 3rd down and 3 for Delta. Their first 3rd down situation for them. Got to think, even though it's early on, could be 4-down territory also.
Well, right now you're in no man's land. You don't know how obviously we've seen the special teams so far that hasn't been going well either way. So I think it's a bit too far to punt and a bit too far to really kick a field goal here.
Bond will roll out wide open man in the flat. That's Samuels, and that's an easy 1st down. Eagles looking sharp in their first couple of plays.
Great recognition there by Bond. Just found his man Samuels on the flat there. Was able to catch it, turn around, and gain about an extra 5-6 yards after the catch.
New set of downs for the Eagles. They're at the Mount Vernon 34. They started this drive at their own 35-yard line. Bond in the gun. Give up the middle, and another huge hole. Carpenter puts the ball in his left hand, going to his left, and Burhan gets a little push from behind from Carpenter.
We saw that coming. We saw that coming.
We sure did. Carpenter is fired up, but is going to get called for an unsportsmanlike.
I can tell you, Jarrett, that these Delta Eagles are very familiar with what George Burhan is going to do after his career at Mount Vernon. So any opportunity that they have to maybe show him up in any sort of way, but not the way to do it right there.
It's going to be a huge loss, as even bigger than the hole. Look at that huge hole. You can drive an 18-wheeler through that one. And Carpenter will get another look at it. Him and Burhan going at it.
Yeah, negates the big run.
Burhan, a tremendous two-way player, both sides of the ball, but offensively last year was just incredible on that state championship team, and it appears that he's going to be playing at the next level in the Big Ten.
He will be playing with the Purdue Boilermakers.
He's going to keep that same color scheme.
Yes, he is. Doesn't have to change much going up there to West Lafayette.
First down.
So after the penalty, it's from the spot. So now, kind of like we saw with the holding penalty called on Mount Vernon. Actually, it wasn't holding. It was a personal foul penalty. But that made it 1st and 13. And the situation here is it's going to be first down, but they're going to be pushed back to the 37. Bond rolls out to his right on the money to his man open in the flat. On the out route, Elliott with the reception, and a good way to pick up most of those yards that they just lost.
Caleb Elliott, kind of the counter to Mount Vernon's Eli Bradthal, 3-sport athlete. Plays basketball and baseball for the Eagles as well. Just an easy pitch and catch to the sideline.
9 yards on first down. Bond will have to quickly make his way over to the sideline to pick up the play, another look at it. 3 guys trailing Elliott as he made that sideline route. Eagles will hurry things up to the line. Bond gets pushed down into the I formation. Carpenter.
18, Palmer Samuels, the ball carrier.
Actually, it's going to be Samuels on the carry, and not much going for him. That tackle led by Hayden Kotlowski, senior middle linebacker.
I was just impressed that they had the big old fullback in there from the I formation. You don't see that a lot in high school football.
Oh, and they actually prevent Delta from reaching that first down. So another 3rd down and short.
I'm just checking to see if Buddy Ryan's on the sidelines down there for the Eagles.
Tight formation for Delta. Samuels the lone back. Bond will keep it himself. He'll easily get it with the help of a nice push from behind.
Yeah, Jared, just once again, get behind that big offensive line. They took it a few yards ahead, and Bond just got on their back and fell forward for the first down.
Now positioned at the 25. Eagles so far responding well to how Mount Vernon went down and scored. It took them 7 plays to cover 67 yards. Upcoming here is the 9th play of the drive for Delta. Pressure off the edge, and getting around to prevent a minimal gain is Mount Vernon. Looks like Carpenter and Samuels kind of going back and forth early on with these first drive carries.
Yeah, we did see Markel Bond. It was the Bond brothers in the backfield there on a play this series. But a steady diet of Carpenter and Samuels, as you mentioned. Very methodical drive here for the Eagles.
Markel has had numerous carries this year. Third on the team in rushing. His brother looking to pass, has a man open in the flat, but good open field tackling made by the Marauders as Jaden Gibson came down and to hold Johnny Maynard to a minimal gain.
The junior Jaden Gibson, great read on that play. The catch was made, but Gibson closed quickly to stop that for going more. Great play.
Another third down for Delta. Under 4 minutes left to go in this opening quarter. Darkness starting to settle over Delta Stadium. Bond under center. They fake the jet with Elliott, and going to the short side of the field is Carpenter. His last second dive at the end is still going to have him come up short.
Yeah, Aiden Lindstrom got over there, was able to knock Carpenter out of bounds, and he's short.
He's well short. I don't even think they got a yard. So no gain on third down. Offense is going to stay out there. 4th down and 3.
Yep, Coach Overholt has his offense out there. 4th down territory in the red zone. There's that I formation.
What do the Eagles draw up here? They put Elliott in motion again. It's a pitch. Short side of the field. Samuels brings it back towards the middle, and he's got a first down. Fans excited after that one. A 4th down conversion for Delta, and they're going to try and go hurry up too.
That was just great recognition by Samuels. Was started to the left, saw the inside hole open, ran right to it. Good enough for the Eagles' first down.
Back under center. Back to the ground game. Samuels bouncing off of guys, refusing to go down. First and goal. Samuels has them at the 5.
Once again, that I formation. The big freshman, number 89, Brody Adams, lining up in that fullback position. 6'2", 245. He's got some growing to do over the next 3 years for these Eagles.
Kind of a mass substitution there from Delta. They bring in 3 new guys. And they're going to spread things out too. 2 receivers, both sides of the field. Carpenter shifts to the right hip of Bond. Blitz coming from the Marauders. Carpenter lunges forward. It's not going to matter. He's into the end zone. The Eagles go 14 plays to answer the opening touchdown from Mount Vernon and now have a chance to tie things back up.
And unbeknownst to us, there's a fireworks show here in Muncie. Got us a little riled up here in the booth.
Matthew, the producer, was a little, he jumped up after that one. You could see the smoke in the background, too.
Matt, we've got the defibrillator on hand if you need it.
Braden Stanley, his extra point. It is good. We're tied back up. 7-7 your score with 2:26 left to play in the opening quarter.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
So after the 7-play touchdown drive from Mount Vernon, it takes twice as many plays for the Eagles, but they still end up with the same result, a touchdown run for Carpenter. Makes things a 7-7 ball game. On that drive, Nolan Carpenter, 4 carries, 26 yards. Him and Palmer Samuels getting a majority of the work. Here's Burhan on the return. He's a big man to try and bring down, and he brings Mount Vernon out to the 50-yard line to begin their second drive.
George Burhan, again, another one of these three-sport athletes on this Marauder side. Let's check out this touchdown. Just old power football. Nolan Carpenter got behind the 2 big seniors, Hunter Wallace and Isaiah Brewer on that left side. And just an easy score for 6.
It won't be the 50-yard line. They're going to mark things off from a holding penalty. And instead, they're going to go all the way back to the 26-yard line. We're going to try and see maybe where this holding penalty was. Middle of the screen.
It looks like it was in the middle of the field there. Maybe on Tyler Etherington, number 5 in the middle.
So it won't be as good a field position as we thought. Mount Vernon with the football. They're going to get Burhan involved on the jet sweep. Jet sweep has been working. Going to that side of the field. They like going behind the left tackle, do the Marauders.
They do. Tyler Kimberly and Kyler Grill, the 2 seniors. It's been effective for them so far.
Second down.
Just give the ball to the big Purdue recruit, but also the track and field star for the Marauders as well.
8-yard run for Burhan. Burhan actually didn't have a catch in their game last week against New Pal. The only way they were able to get him involved was through the jet sweep. And Dragons doing a nice job of containing him. Here's Bridenthal picking up a new set of downs with the 4-yard carry.
Tackle by 24, Nash Kiesling.
Just basically going back to the well as they did in the first drive, Jarrett. Just keep it on the ground, run behind that offensive line. Small chunks of yards, but enough to get first downs.
4 yards is the shortest carry so far for Bridenthal, but you'll still take it every single time. Here's the give. Martin shifting around. He's going to have a first down.
Really like this kid, the senior. Saw his first couple carries of the season last week against New Pal, and really like his elusiveness, runs hard, get some carries here early and making an impact.
That's only the 11th carry on the season for Martin. So he has really come on here late, and he's still out there on the right side of Bridenthal. Marauders still in their own territory as we reach the final minute of quarter number 1. It has been ground and pound for both of these teams so far to start. Not the same result on back-to-back carries for Martin. It's just 1 yard.
Tackle by 24, Nash Kiesling.
Nash Kiesling, the sophomore, getting through the Mount Vernon blocking machine and was able to stop Martin for a short gain.
Get a whistle. And before the final play of the quarter, we'll get a timeout called by the Marauders. They'll talk things over with 20 seconds, and we'll step aside. We'll come back with 2nd and 9.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back just in time to catch 2nd and 9. Breinthal looking down the field. Burhan is wide open down the sideline, and all he has to do is break that tackle and reach into the end zone easily for the touchdown.
I don't know if Eli Breinthal was reading my mind, but I was just about to say, look at the mismatch on the left side of the field of the 6'5" Burhan against the 5'11" Blake Jones. And Breinthal hit him in stride, broke a tackle, and off to the races.
There's Burhan making the type of impact that he can. His 12th catch this year. Extra point is up and good. 2 drives, 2 scores for the Marauders. They jump back into the lead, 14-7 in the final seconds of the first quarter.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Welcome back to Delta Stadium. The Marauders, I don't know what happened in that timeout, but it ended up working perfectly for Mount Vernon. And miscommunication on the side of Delta. There's another kick that goes out of bounds as well.
Well, we've got 21 points on the board, 3 kickoffs and 3 penalties.
Each kickoff has headed out of bounds, and Delta, they've taken it both times, so they can start at the 35. Mount Vernon almost had a chance to scoop that one, unable to catch up to it in time. I don't know what happened, but Delta had the mismatch, and Burhan left wide open.
Well, there it is, Jared. I mean, that's the 1-2 punch that lacked last week against New Pals. You were looking for number 9 and 81 to get on the board to do something in that New Pal game, and we were wondering what effect they would have on this Delta game. And already they've been proving their worth. There's 2 senior leaders here on this Marauder team.
So Delta actually has the football at the 38. Regardless, still good field position, able to answer Mount Vernon's first touchdown with a touchdown of their own. How does drive number 2 look? It's a good start for the defense, as Samuels was unable to capture the edge.
And that was Kellen LaBelle, again, getting in the backfield.
Brought down by 39, Kellen LaBelle.
That's the last play of the first quarter. Marauders looking good offensively. 14-7 is your score. Second quarter, not too far away.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
No, it's great. It's great. Love it. Thank you, Mark.
Welcome back to Delta Stadium, 14-7 in our HHC matchup on IndianaSRN. This first half of play is brought to you by Serenity Care Services, an Indiana licensed personal agency and Medicaid waiver service provider in Central Indiana. The friendly, competent, and experienced team of caregivers that you have been seeking. Contact them at serenitycareservices.net. Brand new 12 minutes up on the scoreboard. And the Eagles with their second drive, trying to respond for the Mount Vernon touchdown. Bond steps up into the pocket. He's going to try and use his legs.
Taking Bond on the keeper.
Wrapped up around his legs and limited to 3 yards.
Almost got away there.
Third down.
Caden Bond. Shoestring tackle.
Brings up 3rd down and 7. Delta's been pretty good so far on 3rd down. They were even able to convert on 4th down.
One thing we haven't seen, Jared, by either defense is pressure on the quarterback. Not a lot of blitzes, any pressure in that backfield.
2 dual threat quarterbacks, too. It'd be hard to bring them down. No hole up the middle for Carpenter to try and get through. And he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Big senior Owen Bitts.
Tackle by 70, Owen Bitts.
Carpenter tried to go into the hole, but the big senior just closed that gap real quick.
So Delta will punt for the first time tonight with the ball on the 41, right on the Eagles' beak. Punting for Delta is Landon Brooks. He stands at the 27. It's a high but very short punt, end over end, and it actually ends up falling behind the offensive lineman bench, so not a very far punt at all for Delta. Mount Vernon will have tremendous field position.
Jarrett, we are seeing some good play on offense on both sides. We're seeing some good defensive plays, but these special teams units are putting their respective defenses and offenses in precarious situations early in this game.
Referees haven't marked the ball yet. They're going to move it up, give some more yards to the Marauders.
Yeah, they're going to mark this on Delta's side of the field.
Delta goes 3 and out. Mount Vernon begins in enemy territory at the 49. Usual suspects out there offensively. Burhan on the end around, trying to get the edge, and he will. He'll have a Mount Vernon first down and more. Finally wrangled down across the 35 to the 33.
That's a tough thing to see coming at you when you have a 6'5" guy that big with that much speed that can run around your smaller defenders. Great play call by Vince Leidy.
Bridenthal just has the 2 pass attempts, and obviously the one completion being the 50-yard touchdown to Burhan. But they're incorporating him in the running game with 2 carries so far. Bridenthal on the high snap, able to shake the first defender. Jukes back into the field of play on the far sideline, and another chunk yardage run from Bridenthal.
Tackle by 22, Ryder Turner.
So again, there you go. I mean, George Burhan at 6'5", just running past the smaller Delta defenders. And luckily, it was really the end line that got him for the tackle.
I think no matter in what form and no matter who's guarding Burhan, he is going to be a matchup nightmare for the Delta defense. Pitch with some lead blockers pulling. Just a couple of yards for Brogan, but it is enough for a first down.
Yeah, just cut back into the middle of the field. Got about 3-4 maybe on that game, but enough for a Marauder first down.
Resulted play good for a first down.
Into the red zone now is Mount Vernon. 1st and 10 at the 19. Brydenthal looking to pass. Quick hitter. Jump ball into the end zone. And easy again. Burhan for the second time.
81, George Burhan.
Brydenthal was looking at him the whole way. Too much space between Burhan and the defender. It's 27 Marauders.
Just nothing you can do. Fade pattern, let the big guy go up and get it. I'm sure Coach Ben Rhodes of the basketball team is looking at that. Grab a couple boards this winter. But just a great pitch and catch from Brydenthal to Burhan. 2 senior leaders on this team.
Burhan, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Not a bad percentage.
100% is always pretty good. Can they keep it up? It's now 21-7. Mount Vernon, 14-point lead in quarter number 2.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got...
Kickoff from Mount Vernon. Will this one stay in the field of play? It does not.
We are 4 for 4.
And that one was close. That one went out at the half-yard line.
I'm starting to mark this up now.
So again, Delta will begin things at their own 35. Meanwhile, it's been Brydenthal and Burhan doing it all offensively.
Yeah, just look at it. I mean, Bryenthal's looking that way the whole time. Just tosses it up for the big senior.
1st and 10 Delta.
And just pitch and catch. That's all you got to do.
And Noah Pickering, the DB, plenty of space in between there, not looking back for the ball, couldn't locate it. And it made it look super easy, almost awkward looking at how easy it was for Burhan to score.
And that's a 7-inch difference on height.
So here's Delta after the 3 and out. Tough running for those yards for Samuels.
Yeah, crucial point for here right now for Delta, Jarrett, is don't abandon what has made you successful these first 4 games. Stick to the ground. It's been successful. It's been successful in this game. Just keep pounding the rock. Try to get that Marauder defense on their heels.
Still plenty of game left to be played. Delta trying to get things going again with Elliott. He's been moving around in the jet sweep. There's another first down for the Eagles.
Again, nothing too fancy. Just a jet sweep, and
first down.
Elliott took it for about 12, 13 yards. Good enough for an Eagles first down. Could see it right here. Just hand it off to big number 17. Let him use his speed and his legs.
And good blocking on the edge. Able to set it off for Elliott. Now the Eagles are at midfield. 2 receivers split out on both sides. This time it's Carpenter with the carry. And again,
Carpenter, the ball carrier.
they'll have a first down play of 3.
Brought down by 29, Aiden Lindstrom.
Once again, probably 4 yards on that, but leaves it second and manageable.
Similar to Mount Vernon, actually exactly like Mount Vernon, Bond has put it through the air just 3 times. He's completed all 3 of his passes. But it's no doubt about it, this game has been built on the run. It's a pass this time. Elliott's second reception, but just 2 yards. Good open field tackle made by Mount Vernon.
Dominic Barnett just came up, closed the gap quickly after that completion.
12, Dominic Barnett.
but still manageable third down here for Delta.
Could again be fourth down territory. Bond gets the play from the sideline. Kind of a big third down in this first half. Bond looks right, has a man open, wide open, middle of the field. Plenty enough for a first down to the Mount Vernon 35. Actually crossed it to the 34. That's a reception for Johnny Maynor.
Johnny Maynor,
Down by 8.
the junior.
Good for a Delta Eagle first down.
There you go, just good patience by Bond in the pocket. Maynor sat down, waited for the ball, was able to turn, get a good positive yardage. Johnny Maynor, the grandson of legendary coach Bill Lynch from Ball State in Indiana. Coach Lynch sitting all the way down towards the right from us.
Here's a pitch to Samuels. Nearly dragged down by the right shoulder pad.
That's Kyler Grill for the Marauders.
And plenty of guys coming in from behind to push him back, also including...
He's earned the nickname Tackle Machine in the halls of Mount Vernon and Fortville.
Javion Jackson was in there as well, 5'10 senior. Jackson not very big on that defensive line. He's just 180.
But he is big in the hearts of the Mount Vernon senior class, as he was part of the homecoming court this past week.
And Jackson got into the backfield as the edge rusher, but Bond quick with the release, hooking up with Maynor again.
Yeah, just good patience.
14, Trey Fox, and 10,
Jackson came with the pressure, got right in his face, but
it's good for a Delta Eagle first down.
You'll see it right here. Bond just patient, and with Jackson in his face, just able to get a quick strike to Maynor. Good for an Eagles first down.
Good drive for Delta, I formation. Samuels is the fullback and Carpenter the tailback. It won't be either of them. Bond looking to pass. Tiptoeing on the sideline with the reception is Elliott. That might be a first down. We'll wait to see where they mark it, but Bond has started this first half 7 of 7, putting the ball through the air.
Good play fake there from the junior quarterback. The Mount Vernon defensive line went with Carpenter on that one to the right side. Was able to hook up with Elliott on the sideline. And they will give him a first down.
And not a first and goal situation quite yet. Delta at the 13. Samuels will take it this time. And he is stopped by a wall at the line of scrimmage and actually lost one.
And 77, Kyler Grill. Second down.
You're going to see it right here. Here's the play fake. You can see everybody got towards Richardson there to the right side and just found his man, Caleb Elliott, on the sideline. Great play. Jared, I'm looking at this formation here. It's the same what happened with Mount Vernon Burhan. Look at number 11, Damari Hood, on the small Jaden Gibson on the right side of the field here.
We have not called Hood's name quite yet. Bond looks to the other side of the field, and it's his running back, Palmer Samuels. Delta on back-to-back plays, losing 1 yard.
Brought down by 15, Hunter Atkinson.
Hunter Atkinson closed quickly on that pass.
Third down.
I still like this matchup on the right side. Get it to the big 6'4 junior.
It's going to be a run play. Elliott on the end around. It's been working so far. Elliott will have a first down. It'll be first and goal for the Eagles. Nobody located number 17.
First and goal, Delta.
Here it is, Jarrett. Simple end around. Gave it to Elliott. Just went right up the middle. Wasn't touched till about the 5-yard line.
And now Delta has just 2 yards left to punch it in and make it a one-score game.
Coach Overholt can use the whole playbook here. Definitely 4-down territory for the Eagles.
Samuel's the much bigger back. They put Elliott in motion again. Direct give up the middle. No signal yet. Looks like he was stopped just short. Another long drive put together by Delta. Their first touchdown drive was 14 plays. Upcoming, we will see play number 13.
That's a success that they've had in these first 4 games, just methodically.
Bond over the offensive line. Puts the ball across the goal line into the end zone. Very Cam Newton-esque from the junior quarterback.
The Italian judge gives it a 9.8. And again, I forgot about the fireworks. It's a little heart palpitation there, but just power football through that whole drive for the Delta Eagles to make it 21-13, pending the extra point here.
Extra point. Braden Stanley is in. He's already 1 for 1. Kick is up. Looks good. And it is. Splits the uprights. 21-14. Now our score. Eagles keeping things close. Final 2:45 left to play in this first half.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Stanley, after the good PAT, will now squib this one. And there it is, John. The streak is over.
Dang it.
No more kickoffs out of bounds.
I got to take my bet back from Vegas now. I was looking for 5 for 5.
So Mount Vernon will have the football at the 36 after the squib kick. This first half is brought to you by Telemetry Sports. For more than 6 years, Telemetry Sports has been working with the NFL and multiple college football teams as a data and technology provider, generating player speeds and accelerations used in computer vision, the same technology as autonomous vehicles, able to catch players going up to 18 miles an hour. Telemetry Sports, a proud sponsor of IndianaSRN broadcasts.
Tell you, Jared, I got a chance to see some of those telemetry replays last week, and I just got tired watching them.
Pretty fast seeing guys go anywhere from 16 to 18 miles an hour. Brian Thaw didn't quite get up to that mark, but he does have 4 yards on first down.
Again, just a simple carry. Quarterback keeper by the senior.
Second down.
We'll just have a look at the touchdown here. There he goes, leaves his feet. As I said, the Italian judge gives it a 9.8 on the dive.
Score.
Good for 6.
Sticking to the ground game, close to a first down, is the ball carrier Martin.
And going back to that last drive for Delta, Jared, is that you know that Coach Overfelt was happy about that. He wanted to take some time off the clock, not let Mount Vernon get back on the field for too long, and let his Eagles do the dirty work on the ground.
Brian Thaw, smart move with the keeper into Delta territory, out of bounds at the 46. Brian Thaw, he's making all the right moves here in the first half.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep handing it off to number 9. Let him use his legs. Using that right side of the field. Use the sideline as your friend. Stop the clock. Keep the drive going.
And that's a huge thing, too. Plenty of yards to pick up, and you stop the clock. Brian Thaw will look to pass this time. Clean pocket down the sideline, going back to his man in Burham, but it's going to be sailing out of bounds, out of the reach.
He's good, but not that good. He just let him a little bit too short. Got Burhen in a spin cycle and just couldn't come down with it.
Second down.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
We see Blake Jones, the DB assigned on Burhan. They actually went with the double move there, but Jones keeping Burhan pretty close by. Second down and 10. Breinthal keeps it this time, and there's the Delta defense. Finally able to swarm after him. It's only 1 yard.
Yeah, the boys in blue, pretty much all 11 of them, converged on Breidenthal there for a gain of, I don't think he got anything on that one. Maybe a yard.
It looks like just 1 yard. Ryder Turner leading the charge. Clock continues to wind down, 1:11. Marauders have 2 timeouts to work with. Breidenthal, 3-step drop on the out route. It's Burhan again, trying to get rid of the first tackler who wraps him up, but not before reaching the red zone at the Delta 18.
So that play was basically stopped at the 30, but the big 6'5" Burhan with a stiff arm was able to pick up about an additional 10, 12 yards
on
after the catch.
3 catches now for Burhan. He's 3 yards shy of 100. Breidenthal, a lot of room to work with. Near sideline, dives at the pylon. They're going to say he stepped out just a yard short.
So that's going to set up 1st and goal for the Marauders. And going out of bounds, stops the clock. Lots of time to think this over. Coach Leidy can reach into the playbook, pick out anything he wants.
Before that, though, we are going to see a timeout. Delta will have to talk things over. 1st and goal for Mount Vernon. They're at the 1.
Timeout, Delta.
Three catches for Burhan, 97 yards. He has all 3 completions from Breidenthal. Another look at this one.
Here it is, just over the middle. You're going to see a lot of this at Purdue. And there was right there. That play was basically stopped at the 30, but Burhan with a stiff arm.
And Breidenthal again with the legs.
Yeah, it's just going to the left side of that offensive line. Tyler Kimberly, Kyler Grill, the big seniors. It's been so effective throughout this entire first half and keeps going to it. Again, gets about to the 1 yard line, steps out of bounds, leaves 43 on the clock.
Breidenthal had Martin as a lead blocker for him out of the backfield, and Martin didn't pick up somebody until about the 9 or 10 yard line. They started that play at the 19. So going 10 whole yards without your lead blocker having to pick somebody up, it's a pretty good recipe for success. And Mount Vernon trying to tack on more points here, but they're going to take a timeout.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN.
So out of the timeout, in as a wingback is Hayden Kotlowski, one of their lead guys defensively. Burhan the men in motion. They follow it to the left side, and Breidenthal basically walks into the end zone. Took the contact at the goal line, but able to break the plane. Now back to a 2-score game.
I think all the fans on this side of the field knew it was coming. On that side of the field knew it was coming. Just it couldn't be stopped. 6 points for Eli Breidenthal.
4 touchdowns and 2 apiece now for Eli Breidenthal and George Burhan. And Mount Vernon tacks on another score before the end of the half. That extra point is blocked. So that score will stay at 27-14. And a 13-point lead for the Marauders. See if we can see who got a hand on it, perhaps. Rising up, it may have been Samuels. got his big
It
left
looks like
hand.
number 19.
And
I
also
think that was
been,
Landon Brooks.
It could have been
the big
Brooks,
6'5"
too.
sophomore. Got a bear paw up there.
Brooks is the punter, also plays defensive line. Very
Now,
tall
Jared,
figure.
there's a whole half of football left, and Mount Vernon does have a 13-point lead, but that extra point right there, let's see if that comes back here in the second half.
Yeah, mark it down for sure. It's been a fairly quick first half, right at 1 hour of play. 2 timeouts, though, for Delta, and 39 seconds to work with. The kick from Venard, very deep kick, back into the end zone. Nice leg from the kicker. Finally, we see something straight and long in between the sidelines.
Blasphemy with these regular special teams plays.
And what a huge difference that makes, because instead of the 35-yard line, perfect timing to start them off at the 20-yard line.
Right. Well,
another look at the Bridenthal scamper.
yeah, here you go. I mean, this has been so effective all game. He does get met at the line, but Bridenthal, a big kid, and just muscled his way in, crosses the line. Another touchdown for the senior.
Delta will start things off in the I formation. Before that, we have a pre-snap penalty.
Flag on the play.
Somebody's offsides for Mount Vernon. This whole officiating crew, the head referee, Jonathan Chalfant,
Still first down.
Brian Dishman, Brian Elliott, Jeff Green, and Robert Voss are 5 officials for tonight's game.
Yeah, let's see what Coach Overholt does here with 38 seconds left. Will he release the Hounds or play conservative and just hold on to the football? A lot of explosive athletes on this side of the field for Delta.
That is correct. Offensive coordinator Billy Lynch also. They do pick up 5 free yards. Bond will start things off with a give up the middle. Now what does Delta opt to do? No real sense of urgency. It appears Delta may end this first half with that play.
Yeah, about an 8-second difference on the play clock to the game clock. I think they're just going to let this one run out to the half and take the deficit 27-14.
Final seconds do tick down. Delta won't run another play. That'll be the end of the first half from Delta Stadium. The Marauders, all 4 of their offensive drives in with them into the blue turf. They lead 27-14. Your first half takeaways, John.
Well, we mentioned it in the pregame, and it was the 2 seniors on Mount Vernon side, Eli Bridenthal and George Burhen, that really weren't there last week against New Pal. And what have they done in this first half? They have taken over that Mount Vernon offense, putting up really all 27 points for them. 2 touchdowns by Burhen, 2 by Bridenthal. So they really took over that first half for the offense. And then Delta, not out of this by any means. Running the football hard. Stick to that ground game. Don't avert it. You're making some. What's happening with that ground game is that it's drawing the Marauder defense, and it's opening up some passing lanes for Bond, making some crucial plays. So by no means is Delta out of this.
Only halfway through, so 24 minutes still left to decide this one in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. There's your halftime score. Mount Vernon leads 27-14. We'll take our halftime break, and we'll be back after some messages with the second half. You're watching Indiana High School football, powered to you this evening by IndianaSRN.
Football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
When I'm at a Super Bowl and I walk in that stadium at kickoff time and I see that football sitting down there on that field, I get goosebumps because I sewed that football. I am Jane Helser. I recently retired. I started working at Wilson on April 13th, 1966. I was 19 years old. I put an application at Wilson. I got the job, never thinking that I'd be there for 48 years. I enjoyed what I did, so I just stayed.
The Wilson football factory here, it's actually like a secret. I was raised about 20 miles from here and never even knew this place was here. We make NFL footballs year-round. We manufactured the ball for every Super Bowl, and every point scored in the NFL since 1941 has been scored with a Wilson football. Jane was the longest tenured employee when she retired.
I would get up at about 3:30 in the morning to be on the job at 5 a.m. I had to oil up my machine every day. I could sew about 150 footballs a day. A football is made from a big piece of leather. It's cut out like a cookie cutter, and that panel is split down to a certain size. They're stamped with a logo, and then there's a lining that's put on it to hold the shape of a ball. When I get the football, it's in 4 panels. There's the top 2 panels. Those 2 are sewed together, leaving the opening. Then I sew the bottom 2 panels together. After the lace holes are punched and the seam are pounded down, then I sew the full section together. The rule of thumb is you don't make a good football sewer until you run a needle through your finger. One time the needle just slid up underneath the foot, stuck in my finger. They put an ice pack on it, took me to the doctor, he cut it out, and I went back to work the rest of the afternoon. I'm tough. The turner gets the nice job of turning it right side out. Then it goes to the lacer, he or she, puts a bladder in it and then laces it. After it goes to the lacer, it's molded. Then the ball is ready to be inspected.
Sewing the football together is probably the most important quality as far as manufacturing. The ball has to have perfect seams, the ends have to line up perfectly, and therefore I think sewing is probably the most critical job in manufacturing the ball. We do not want to change the product in its total, because the most important thing is the integrity of football. So our thing's consistency, make a consistent product that feels the same to the player every time they pick it up.
There's a cold swim. I tell people that I've been to 9 Super Bowls, but I've never been to an Ohio State football game. I've been to Miami twice, Tampa twice, Arizona twice, soon to be the 3rd time, New Orleans and Indianapolis. I'm just a worker that got a job when I was 19 years old and stayed there and was able to try to do the best job I could. And I've been rewarded greatly for it.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool, but they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Delta Stadium. It is halftime. The Marauders lead 27-14 over the Eagles in Hoosier Heritage Conference play. Week 5 of Football Friday night on IndianaSRN. I'm Jarrett Lewis, joined by John Cupo. It's been a pretty good game so far, back and forth. All 4 drives for Mount Vernon have ended up in touchdowns, with Bridenthal scoring on 2 touchdown runs, and Burhan 2 touchdown receptions of 50 yards and 19 yards. But like we said before we got to our halftime break, Delta not out of it completely. If they can stick to that run game and keep that going, they're going to have to throw the football also. They're going to have to let Bond try and make some plays, where he's 8 of 8 in the first half, but only for 54 yards. So the balance in the offensive attack is going to have to be there.
And that's what they've been able to do with this ground game, is that they've been so effective on the ground that it opens up those little passing lanes. And as you mentioned, Bond 8 for 8, and not getting a lot of yards on those receptions, but getting them, and allowing that Eagles offense to march down the field very methodically. And I think that's going to pay off for them in the second half. The longer that they can keep these long, sustained drives, keep the ball out of the hands of Bridenthal and Burhan, that dynamic duo on the Mount Vernon side, maybe get some momentum there on the offensive side.
The rest of the first half numbers, so Bond is 8 of 8, 54 yards. Samuels and Carpenter, those have been the 2 lead guys running the football, but not much luck when you combine their numbers together. Samuels at 10 carries, just 27 yards on the ground. Meanwhile, Nolan Carpenter, with his 6 carries, he's been able to come away with 29 yards. In the passing game, Caleb Elliott, the senior receiver, has been pretty active, both in the jet sweep but also actually catching the football. His 4 catches have resulted in 35 yards, and Johnny Maynor has added 3 receptions for 24 yards. Going to see more of those guys, you would think, in that second half for Delta to try and climb back into this one.
Jared, I think the thing that we were most surprised of in that first half in the passing game was the lack of usage from the big junior number 11, Damari Hood.
And his game last week, too. Funny you mention it. It's been just complete polar opposites. Against Yorktown, 10 receptions, over 100 yards rushing, or 100 yards receiving, 108 to be exact, and 1 touchdown. So it has nowhere has Hood been found offensively. Definitely a guy to watch out for, to try and make an impact for Delta in that second half. Speaking of that Yorktown game, they were tied at 14 against Yorktown last week, but ended up being outscored 21-7 in the second half. Over 200 yards rushing for the Yorktown offense really ended up being the difference in that one. And we could talk about last week's game with Mount Vernon, but the numbers really don't matter, and they don't reflect how this game tonight is going for them. Eli Bridenthal, just 5 pass attempts. He's completed 3 of them for 97 yards, all to the senior George Burhan, who has all 97 of those yards, and 2 of those being the touchdowns.
Well, you mentioned a ground game on the Delta side, and it's almost mirrored on the Mount Vernon side. Brogan and Martin, not a lot of carries, not a lot of yards, but it's been the legs of Eli Breidenthal that's really moved this Marauder offense down the field. And, of course, you got to get into the hands of big number 81, George Perhen, the Purdue commit. And he's made every opportunity where he's got his hands on the football, he has made a play out of all of those times. So they will probably, since it's been so successful in that first half, go to that well continuously here in the second.
Perhen also has 2 carries for 24 yards, with Brogan and Martin kind of splitting carries just a little bit. Combined, they only have 37 yards rushing, but the run game has been terrific. They're over 100 yards rushing, specifically because of Breidenthal on his 9 keepers. Has accumulated 90 yards rushing. His shortest run is just 1 yard. He has 2 carries of 4 yards. And then every other carry, so 6 of them to be exact, he's accumulated 9 yards or more on his rushes. He's making the right decisions in the read option, and also the offensive line opening up huge holes on the outside when they're pulling.
And was that 1 yard carry happen to be a touchdown?
It did.
Okay.
It did.
Then that all pans out.
It makes up for it, of course.
That'll take that onus off of that YPG.
So second half is getting closer. Both teams coming out on the field shortly. We'll take one last break. When we come back, we will have that third quarter beginning for you here at Delta Stadium. 27-14 is your score on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
There's a look at the Eagles, who are trying to start off this second half, get things back to a one-possession game, make things more interesting as this game goes along. Right now they trail by 13. This series has been owned by Delta the past 35 years in total. They lead the total series 21-16, but the last time these two teams met, Mount Vernon put up big numbers in that game too, 56-31 in last year's matchup for the state champions. Here's a couple of scoreboard updates from other Indiana SRN games. Traders Point leads Frontier 28-6 at the half. Cecina over Heritage 20-7. That is a high-profile game in Class 2A. Both of those teams highly ranked in the top 5. Also, Covenant Christian is all over Tenley, 34-0 in the second quarter. And our last game for you, Chittard battling with Columbus North. That score 21-13 in favor of Chittard.
Jarrett, one of the things that gets overlooked with these high school games is the kids are out there, they're busting their butt, they're playing their hearts out. The coaches are sacrificing their time to help these young men do the best in everything, both on and off the field and also in the classroom. But a position that gets overlooked a lot are the athletic directors, and both Delta and Mount Vernon have some of the best, not just in the IHSAA, but just overall Central Indiana. Tillman Clark of Delta, as we look out on this field, I mean, this is college quality football right here. I mean, it's a great stadium, a great crowd on hand tonight, around 3,700 announced for this, which is a great crowd. And just the facilities throughout all the sports are remarkable. Tillman does a great job. The hospitality he's offered us here at SRN has been phenomenal. And also on the Mount Vernon side, Brandon Ecker and his assistant Julie Shelton. I know what goes on in Fortville, Indiana on that campus. Fantastic facilities. They take care of those kids. They give everything that they have to these kids. I know that each athletic director is here till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning picking up trash, throwing it away, just doing everything on the books. So a big shout out to these two athletic directors, to Tillman Clark of Delta and to Brandon Ecker and Julie Shelton of Mount Vernon.
The game has been tremendous, but the overall product has been spectacular for us to watch here. And the hospitality up here in the press box has been tremendous. So, yes, very much appreciative of the ADs on both sides for both schools. And right now we're putting on a tremendous display of football.
Yeah, we got a great football game to go with that, so this is fantastic.
Conference opponents, teams that know each other far too well over the years.
Two teams hungry to get back in the win column.
That is for sure. They're both coming off of losses from last week. And we're still at the halfway point of the 2022 season. Mount Vernon's trying to get to 2-3 on the year. Delta trying not to fall down to 3-2, a 4-1 record to start this season. Let's be spectacular for them. A deep return for Elliott, but good kickoff coverage for the Marauders as Elliott only able to get it out to the 18.
Yeah, good kick. Ryan Vennard putting some leg into these past two kicks, getting it to about the goal line. And Elliott only about, comes up short of the 20. Maybe should have let that ball roll in the end zone.
This Delta offense averages just shy of 30 points per game. So they're right on pace for that. And Mount Vernon has already eclipsed their season average at 23. Second half gets underway. That first give to Samuels. So Palmer has his 11th carry this afternoon.
Brought down by 56, Tyler Kimberly.
Yeah, that was Tyler Kimberly on the tackle there. Again, just power football. 4 yards on the carry. This is what Delta's known for. Just run behind that offensive line. Small chunks of yards, make everything manageable.
Bond is in the gun this time. Rolls out to his throwing side, and there's Elliott again. Takes a hard shove out of bounds, but holding on to it. Caleb Elliott with reception number 5.
And we talked about this, Jared, is that they use that ground game to open up the passing game. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular, not looking down the field, not looking for the big home run hit. Was able to find Elliott in the flat. Good enough for a Delta first down.
7-yard pickup between Bond and Elliott. Bond is still at 100%, 9 of 9. Elliott, the lone receiver, on our near side, right on the hash. They'll go to his side again, but Bond will opt to pitch to Samuels, and good coverage by the Mount Vernon defense. Making the tackle for the Marauders was Kellen LaBelle.
That was interesting. Samuels had the ball, and he saw Kellen LaBelle, and I think he kind of went down knowing that Kellen LaBelle was going to hit him pretty hard, but still managed to get something out of it.
Tyler Kimberly also in the area wearing the 2 different colored cleats, I noticed, the orange and the blue, so he's sticking out on that defensive line. Bond off his back foot. Dangerous pass is caught by Elliott, but only able to come away with 2 yards. A 3rd down and long faces Delta.
Yeah, dangerous pass. Fortunately, the senior able to go up and get it. Trey Fox met him immediately.
3rd down.
3rd down and 9 to be exact. Eagles at their own 30. Elliott will be in the slot on the near side. Surrounded by Maynor and also Chase Ritchie. Looking that way is Bond. Scrambling outside the pocket, has to get rid of it. He has a connection, but it's short of the line to gain. Maynor was the one to make the catch, and Burhan had the tackle.
Yeah, Bond able to get away from the pressure. Good pressure by the Marauder defense.
4th down.
We'll see it right here. Good pressure from that front. Mount Vernon gets Bond out of the pocket, rolling to his right. Just able to get it away, but not much of anything yardage-wise, and that'll force a Delta punt.
Second punt tonight from Brooks, and this one much better. Burhan will let it bounce, and I think he touched it, so he's going to have to jump on it, which he does. But going backwards, and luckily able to still corral it in.
That could have been disastrous for the Marauders.
Just shows the versatility. You look past the muffed reception by Burhan, but, I mean, offensively we know what he can do. Defensively just made that stop on 3rd down. He's back on kick return. He's back on punt return. I mean, this guy can do it all, a jack of all trades.
Well, if you have the Swiss Army knife on your team, might as well utilize everything, as Coach Leidy is doing.
Much better punt. Mount Vernon at the 16-yard line to start off this drive. So far, they're 4 for 4 on their possessions. And a good start on the run for Brogan. Brogan has a 1st down.
And we see the freshman Luke Erdelin for the first time tonight.
Brogan, the ball carrier.
We had a feeling we'd see both quarterbacks. Erdel, just the freshman, has more pass attempts this year than Bridenthal. So perhaps not the runner that Eli is, but he does start off this second half, and so does Brogan. Another 1st down. This time a 13-yard scamper for the sophomore.
And this is what you get from the 5'8 sophomore. Power football, shifty kid. Just plows in the middle, runs hard. He's got a good 2 years ahead of him.
And quickly he gets out. Here comes Martin. Martin is on Erdel's right, who will look to pass for the first time. A quick hitter, out route, first reception for someone other than George Burhan.
And it's Bridenthal.
Another look at the run from Brogan. Just a huge hole.
Yeah, you can see the juke moves just up the middle, just kind of averting defenders. Was able to get enough for the 1st down. Great run. And Jerry, you mentioned Erdel's out there at quarterback, but that doesn't mean that Bridenthal leaves the field. You can see him on the left side of the field there.
Erdel, here's a give, quickly hitting the hole, but a quick tackle also made in response. That time it was Martin,
Drew Martin, the ball carrier,
on the carry, and he was brought down by Ryder Turner.
Yeah, that was a good close by the Delta defense.
3rd down.
Not much for the senior running back, Drew Martin.
And he's quickly replaced again by Brogan. 3rd down for Mount Vernon. They're at the 46. Burhan in the slot, top of your screen. Ertl will turn around and pitch it to Brogan. Shifting around left and right. Tremendous footwork from the sophomore into Delta territory.
Yeah, he made a look in the middle, but just quick feet by the sophomore and was able to bounce it out to the outside. Good enough for a Mount Vernon first down.
New set of downs at the Delta 46. Interesting little situation at the quarterback spot. If you follow college football, you may know what Michigan is trying to do with their 2-quarterback system and Coach Harbaugh over there. Kind of seeing the same situation here between Bridenthal and Ertl. Stretch give. Here is Bridenthal shaking tacklers. Takes 2 minutes to go down. He's finally tackled at the 21, but not after a gain of 25.
Really not sure what position to call the kid at right now, but just hand him the football and let him go for 10+.
That puts Bridenthal over the century mark. He has 115 yards rushing.
Yeah, here you go. Just an end around. Give the ball to number 9 and let him work. Just dodging defenders, moves to the inside, breaking tackles.
3 to be exact. Counter. This is Martin. Got rid of the first guy. Outside the hashes, working to his left, and he's at the Delta 15.
That's what I saw last week at New Pal, Jared, is that this kid has some speed, has some shiftiness, but just runs hard, runs north and south. Didn't get the first down, but very manageable second down for Mount Vernon.
He's not in your screen, but watch Bridenthal, the lone receiver. He's one-on-one at the bottom at the numbers. We get a whistle, though. Someone on the Mount Vernon offensive line is going to have to come off.
Yeah, I think we have an equipment malfunction over there.
Looks like Tyler Dover got brought out. Something wrong maybe with the uniform or maybe some blood on the jersey. He'll be out for this play. Mount Vernon 2nd and 4. Up the middle and running into a wall, but Martin, no, that's Brogan, bounces off of it. That could have been a loss of 4, and it turns out to be a gain of 4.
He was covered in Crisco, Jarrett. Ran right into the belly of that Delta defense, bounced right off, and was able to somehow get enough for the first down.
He needed 5, actually, and that's what Brogan got. First down from the 11. Some hurry up. Ertl kind of late on the pitch to Brogan, and that could have affected the chemistry a little bit on that play.
Yeah, I think there was a little miscommunication there. I think they wanted to get that ball into Brogan's hands a little bit quicker. A little hesitation on behalf of the freshman quarterback, Ertl.
Brought down by 24.
Brogan now has 50 yards on the ground. Martin will check in for him. Ertl's under center. And Bridenthal again with the one-on-one. But they go jet motion with Burhan running over a defender into the blue turf. George Burhan has the hat trick, his 3rd touchdown tonight, and it's a 19-point Mount Vernon lead.
Hand him the ball, throw the ball in the vicinity, and they're going for 2 here, Jarrett.
Call this the polecat formation, and it's an easy walk-in 2-point conversion for Darnell Stewart. First time we've called his name tonight. And that makes it a 21-point advantage on the side of the team in white.
Well, they make up for that blocked extra point in the first half. The big 6'4 senior, Darnell Stewart, just sat in the pocket, collected, ran into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Burhan has his 3rd touchdown, his first one not in the receiving category. Makes it 35-14 in favor of Mount Vernon. This quarter of play is brought to you by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe. Great atmosphere for breakfast or brunch. They're open Wednesday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tammy and your staff are waiting to serve you and your family. They're located at 6427 Oaklandon Road in Indy.
Jared, I want to make a point about the Mount Vernon sideline. is I know Coach Leidy is an emotional guy, but through these first couple weeks, I think even he was concerned about the direction of this Marauders team, but he has been very animated over on that sideline during the course of this game.
We saw him get very animated with the kicks going out of bounds, but it's been 3 straight good ones and good kickoff coverage, too, on top of it. Nice job by the special teams unit led by Ryland Vennard.
This is a huge drive, Jared, for Delta. Now down 21. Is it time to abandon the run game? It's been so effective for them, but just not being able to capitalize to get enough first downs. Already have punted in this half. And do you open it up now? Do you put it on the arm of Caden Bond?
Most definitely going to have to see some more passes. Pressure gets to Bond late, and finally he hooks up with his man. That's Damari Hood. Hood has a first down.
And we've been waiting for that all game. The big 6'4" junior. That's I think that's maybe his first target of the game.
Yeah, let alone first catch.
We'll see it right here.
Bottom receiver on your screen. Good timing.
Yeah, just an out route to the sideline. Good pitch and catch. It's good to see Hood getting involved.
Gain of 15, longest pass completion so far for Bond tonight. And he's looking for more. Plenty of time. Launches down the field. Wide open is Samuels. Down the sideline, and he's going to take it all the way. 59 yards from Caden Bond to Palmer Samuels. And a quick answer, just 2 plays for the Eagles to score it right back.
I think the closest Marauder defender was in Anderson on that one. Samuels left all alone. An easy touchdown for Delta. Quick strike to answer the last Marauder touchdown.
And the third time we've seen fireworks after a Delta score. So we just said Hood had his longest pass completion for Bond, and he follows it up with 59 yards to Samuels. Back to a 14-point game here between Mount Vernon and Delta.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
So just 2 plays is all it takes for Delta to reply to that Mount Vernon drive where they went 9 plays to score. Caden Bond is over 100 yards passing, actually 144. And with that third catch for Samuels, he's at 67 yards in the score. Back to those passes for Bond.
Yeah, here's the first one to Hood. Just simple out route. It's the sideline, got out of bounds. And then here's a big pass play. You'll see it. Bond has plenty of time in the pocket. Just rolls out to a little bit. And you can see, Samuel's just wide open. Not a defender within 12 yards of him. Has enough speed to not even be touched for the Delta touchdown.
Samuels actually came out of the backfield on that play, kind of as a wing back. And it appears that Mount Vernon secondary may have just lost him. Ertl is still in there, and he gives the pitch off to Brogan, who has a good first down carry to the 40.
Brogan, the ball carrier.
Again, just power football by the Marauders. Using these 2 backs efficiently.
Ertl will shift Etherington out, so 2 receivers split out. Both sides of the field. Ertl looks to pass. Quick hitter. Burhan immediately met as he gets the reception, but it's enough to pick up a first down.
That's going to bring down his yards per catch.
He's still at 103 total on just 4 receptions.
No, George Brand just having a great game. Able to corral that ball. Knew where the first down marker was. Got past it. Corralled it in. First down, Mount Vernon.
Almost 26 yards per catch for Burhan, and now he gets the handoff. Gets the edge. Flag comes in. Looks like this one may be coming back. In the area of holding, you can see the frame on George. Such a hard guy to handle. Offense already trekking back.
Yeah, Jonathan Chalfant.
Holding on Mount Vernon.
That's only the second Mount Vernon penalty all night.
Yeah, both of these teams very disciplined in this game as far as penalties are concerned.
In fact, Delta just has 2 on their side also.
Yeah, it was Tyler Etherington getting the jersey there.
Etherington will now be in the slot near side. Burhan the motion man. First down and 18. Ertl, they set up the screen. Bridenthal gets some of the yards back. Tackle down at the 43.
Well, set up the wheel route there. Had Bridenthal come back for that. And we have an injured Eagle on the ground.
Might be cramping up. Didn't quite catch the number. It may be, I don't want to speculate, but it looks like a 29. It could be Chase Lennis. Doesn't look like anything serious. It definitely looks like some cramps.
Yeah, they're stretching out that right leg. Man, you're right, Jared. It is number 29, the junior, Chase Lennis.
That Mount Vernon huddle. The offense has been spectacular tonight. Brian Thrall throwing the football on just 5 attempts. Had big receptions with Burhan of 50, 19, and 28. Burhan just caught that 6-yard out route from Ertl, who's played this entire half now, and they moved Bridenthal to more of a wide receiver position.
That's good news. Chase Lennis up, walking out on his own power, just a little limp. Hope the young man is okay.
So just a quick break into the action. Clock stopped at 3:44. Second down and 13 here for Mount Vernon. Shedding the blocker and tracked down. Ertl was affected on that throw. Good pressure applied by Delta's Braxton Russell.
Yeah,
Russell completely blew up that block attempt from Brogan.
The junior got in there and just chased Ertl from the backside. And you'll see it. He actually had Ertl.
Third down.
On the hips, and Ertl just able to get it away. Good pressure by the junior Braxton Russell.
Third down and long, 13 yards left for Mount Vernon. Ertl, middle of the field. Bridenthal, nice spin move, got rid of the first guy, and brings the second guy with him. Boy, second effort from Eli Bridenthal has them close to that first down marker.
Yeah, Eli was dead to rights at about the 49-yard line of Mount Vernon. And a spin move here, a juke there. Able to get it up to the Delta 46. And they're going to go for it here, Jarrett.
And Brianthal's the quarterback.
Run to the left.
Wouldn't be surprised. They'll motion Burhan to that side. And indeed, that's where they go. Bridenthal has the first down. John, I think you're showing signs of Tony Romo predicting.
I think he's rubbing off on me on NBC.
Predicting what play is coming up. Breinthal makes it look very easy. Just such a tough runner.
Again, Jared, it's just a play that they've been going to this whole game has been so effective. And whether it's 2 yards needed for a first down or Breinthal takes it for 15 to 20, just effective. Also helped that Vernon got out there on the motion to help block.
Ertl's back out there. This is Martin on the carry. And Martin, a nice second effort from him, too. It looks like it could be a 5-yard carry, and it turns out to be 9 with Martin.
He just runs hard, puts his helmet down, goes straight forward.
Second down.
Solid kid, 5'11", 200, the senior.
So many rushes from this ground attack. Breinthal, Martin, and Brogan of 5 yards or more. Here is Brogan.
Martin, the ball carrier.
He's got a first down. Actually, Martin stayed out there, so Martin had the carry. They now bring Brogan in for this new set of downs.
Power football. Just enough chunks of yards to keep those sticks moving, keep this drive alive, clock running.
So far, a 6-play drive. This is play number 7. Brogan has the carry this time. Good stand by the Delta defense. We'll see who comes out of the pile, but helping out. Nash Kiesling was there to help out.
Yeah, the Eagles not fooled that time.
Hunter Wallace also in on the tackle.
Was able to bottle up that left side of the line.
Wallace, 6'3", 270, a huge factor in the middle of those trenches. Burhan, jet sweep, blockers out in front, inside the Delta 20.
And we'll see if they mark this. I think they're going to bring out the sticks, but nonetheless, and they are going to move it. 10 yards on that carry.
First down, Mount Vernon.
It's about the 4th or 5th time we've seen this play. Just hand it off to big number 81. Let his legs do the work. Take a defender with him, dive forward. Enough for the Marauder first down.
They're at the 19. This is Martin. Such a good first move. And again, it's 5 yards. It's 6 yards. Vince Leidy has to love what he's seeing from his offensive line.
Throughout the entire game, Jarrett, again, it's just first down, 1st and 10. Give it the ball to Brogan and or Martin. Let him get 5 or 6, just manageable 2nd and 3rd downs for this Marauder offense.
The Marauders will head into the 4th quarter with a 14-point lead, and they're trying to add on to it. They're at the Delta 13. One last quarter to decide this one in the HHC. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Pleasure to be bringing you this game tonight from Delta Stadium on IndianaSRN. One of 5 games on the family of networks for you tonight in Week 5 football action with John Kupel. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for tuning in. This fourth quarter is brought to you by Indiana Mulch and Stone. Since inception in 1987, Indiana Mulch and Stone has been dedicated to providing the highest quality products to landscapers, businesses, and residents in central Indiana. This philosophy has defined our success for the last 35 years and will continue for decades to follow. IndianaMulch.com.
Jarrett, let's look at this matchup on the left side. It's the 6'5 Burhan against the 5'11. Well, Burhan in motion.
And they go that way to the motion. Martin has a first down. He bounces off one guy and loses his helmet.
Drew Martin, the ball carrier.
Martin, I think, got things to the Delta 4.
One thing that has impressed me, Jared, throughout this game is the blocking by the Marauder wide receivers.
Yeah, between Martin, Brogan, and Breinthal, I think those three guys owe the 5 big uglies on the offensive line a steak dinner after maybe not that.
I don't know
big.
if they're going to steak,
maybe some McDonald's
right,
or something
right.
like something easy like
exactly.
that. But they owe them something. Up the middle, just short of the goal line. I think Brogan was out there this time on the carry.
And for some odd reason, I have a feeling that number 9 will be involved down here.
See, your spidey senses are tingling again, and indeed, it is Breinthal. Also noticed the wingback on the right side of the formation, Kotlowski, is back out there in the formation. Breinthal and Mount Vernon, they're at the 1. Going to his right, reversing course. Could have been tackled for a loss, but second and third effort put Breinthal back into the end zone. His third touchdown tonight. Mount Vernon leads 41-21.
I think when I play the lotto tonight, I will be playing number 9. Just a great overall game by the senior Eli Breinthal. What a performance.
Breinthal trying to pick up player of the game honors. He's trying to battle his teammate Burhan for that. Each of them have hat tricks, and they have come up with all 41, now 42 points for Mount Vernon. Another good extra point for Vennard. 42-21 is our score with 11:08 left to play.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Kick from Vennard is in the air. Another deep kick returned by Elliott from the 1. Started in the middle of the field and shoestring tackle. Boy, Elliott had a lot of greenery out in front of him. And on the tackle for the Marauders, saving a lot more yards, was Trey Fox.
First and 10, Delta.
You're right, Jared. That could have went for a lot more, but the shoestring tackle by Trey Fox.
Another deep kick from Vennard. And putting Elliott in the best position if you're Mount Vernon. There. You see. Tremendous effort by Fox. So, at the 24 is Delta, tackled for a loss. On the first play is Carpenter.
Brought down by 39, Kellen LaBelle.
And once again, Kellen LaBelle in the backfield, disrupting the run.
Give some props to this Mount Vernon defense as well. Because after that first drive, it's been punt, Then we saw the long drive that resulted in the Bond touchdown, and then another punt, and then they gave up that 59-yard touchdown reception to Samuels. But other than that, and just as I say something, there's Tamari Hood. Hood will pick up 20 yards on the reception.
Well, only his second reception of the night, but a big one.
I think Hood came from the other side of the field, and he did. Top of your screen.
Yeah, just maneuverability from Bond, and hits Hood in stride. Able to get to about the 45-46. Stops the clock, more importantly. And plenty enough for an Eagles first down.
Delta at the 45. Fake the pitch to Elliott, and they'll pitch things out with Carpenter.
Carpenter, the ball carrier.
Carpenter has 4 yards. It's been a quiet night for the most part between Samuels and Carpenter. They're each right at 30 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Eagles have the luxury right now running the football. They need to strike early and often here in the fourth quarter, down by 21. Need to see if they can get number 11, Damari Hood, in space on an island with somebody. Maybe that 11 versus 11 matchup out there all the way on the left.
I was just about to say, Ren Davis has him man-to-man. Another up-the-middle give, and it's only good for half of a yard with Carpenter.
Third down.
Not sure we can afford any more plays like this if you're Delta.
Yeah, I'm not sure about going up the middle there. That's taking a lot of time off the clock. And Hayden Kotlowski got in there and kind of stood up the running back, taking a little bit more time off the clock.
Bond is in the gun, standing at the 45, immediately feeling the pressure. Forced out of the pocket to his left, and he overshoots his man. Pressure applied from behind. 2 guys trying to track him down. Kellen LaBelle was one of them, and Ethan Lynch the other.
Yeah, the seniors.
Fourth down.
Ethan Lynch and Kellen LaBelle. It was just a foot race of protection for Caden Bond. Here you see it. There's just right on his 6. And Bond able to get rid of it, throw it away, stops the clock, but brings up fourth down.
And at the 8:44 mark in this fourth quarter, John, that's the first incompletion tonight from Caden Bond. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the game, I would have said that the score would be a lot different than what it is at currently. There's a timeout called by the Mount Vernon defense. We'll keep things right here. Want to let you know this fourth quarter brought to you by the officials of the IHSAA. Participation in high school athletics does not have to end after high school graduation. You can still be a part of the game. And one of the 20 sports sanctioned by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Contact the IHSAA office at ihsaa.org.
Yeah, Jared. All right, so we're going to, and here we go. Just give it to number 9. Stop dead to rights at the 4. Slips a tackle at the 5, and just barrels his way in. Just good, hard running by the senior, determined to get that next 6 points to add to his tally for the evening.
Yeah, we hadn't seen another look at that up until now, and just looking at it again, the effort, I mean, it's maximum. You think about maximum effort at 100%. No, Brian Thal's at 110 tonight. Just all over the field. He's good with his feet. He's strong. He's powerful. Just an overall stud of an athlete on the side for Mount Vernon.
Big fourth down for the Eagles here.
It sure is. They're at the 49. 4.5 yards to try and pick things up. Bond flushed out. We'll flip it forward, and there's Hood standing a couple of yards past the line again. Nice little flick forward from Bond to find his man.
That was a great play. I don't know if that was designed to be that way, or we'll take a look here. see Bond, he was rolling out to the right, so that was design. But, I mean, Hood was there.
Making something
Little
happen.
improvisation on behalf of the quarterback, Caleb Bond. Nice play.
And now Bond, a casual 5-step drop deep down the field, and falling down is Hood. It's going to draw a penalty. And a nice decision by Bond to try and give his man a chance. Obviously, the flag is thrown.
Yeah, just throw it up to the big 6'4" junior. And it was pretty apparent that the laundry was going to come out. It was just a matter of when he was going to get it out of his pocket. You can see here.
Davis right there, step for step with them. And Davis actually looks back to locate the football, but tangled up enough for the referees.
Yeah, when he turned back, he had a handful of Damari Hood with him, too.
Eagles waiting for a new football to use. The penalty will move Delta, or mark the yardage off right now. And we'll wait for them to plant that football down at the 29. Just the third penalty called on Mount Vernon. There's been 2 for the Eagles. The referees have, for the most part, had a quiet evening.
Yeah, and just to mention all the zebras out there tonight, Jarrett, is that you mentioned the IHSAA, and these kids, these fans, the coaches, none of this happens without them on the field. Have such an important role in high school sports, no matter if it's football, basketball, volleyball, soccer. They'll do a fantastic job sacrificing their time. And the crew that we have tonight, Jonathan Chalfant, Brian Dishman, Brian Elliott, Jeff Green, Robert Voss, no exception to that. So we thank them for their efforts and everybody who's on the field doing these games for us on IndianaSRN here tonight.
Very experienced crew here for this HHC matchup as well. And we need officials. Also, Coach refers to it a lot. Pass over the middle of the field is going to be incomplete. The previous play, Elliott was flushed backwards, actually with a loss of 2.
Yeah, the big Tyler Grill was there to disrupt that pass.
Second incompletion tonight for Bond, and it's a 3rd and 13. Staring Delta right here in the face. Going to need a huge conversion to keep this game going. 2 receivers both sides. They're going to run it. Fake the Samuels. Bond with a great decision to keep it. Runs into the back of his own man, but a huge pickup on 3rd and long, and it's enough for a first down.
Yeah, simple play fake. Caden Bond looked like it was going to Palmer Samuels, but Bond held on to it, ran to the right, got behind some blockers, and got enough for the Eagles' first down. We'll see it right here. Great play fake. See, the Marauder defense bit on it to Samuels. That allowed Bond to get to the outside, followed his lead blockers there. A couple of receivers throwing key blocks. Enough for the first down.
This time they do give it to Samuels, and nothing doing there. The middle of Mount Vernon's defense. Kellen LaBelle, no new story with him. And he's everywhere, flying all over the field.
Kellen making a lot of plays out there from the Marauder defense. And it just seems when they need that big play in a key position that Kellen's right there to make it happen.
Delta going with a slight hurry up. They're at the line with 18 on the play clock. Bond looking to his right. And it's not a completion. It ends up going through the hands of his intended man and Caleb Jones.
Jarrett, both of these incompletions by Bond here has him throwing off his back foot, getting some pressure from that Marauder defense. Hasn't been able to set his feet and has thrown those 2 balls short.
It does stop the clock at 7:14. But it's been a very long drive for Delta, starting at their own 24. They're now at the Mount Vernon 18. Would love some points and some points pretty quickly. Another throw off the back foot, and this time Bond connects with Jones. It's not much of a pickup, maybe 5 yards, but it forces another 4th down.
He threaded the needle there, got it in between Kyler Grill and Trey Fox. Jones able to come away with it.
4th down and 5. Clock continues to run. A new batch of players run out there for Delta. Whistle and a timeout.
Yeah,
Too much clock running down for the Eagles. And, yeah, like you were about to say, John, I'm sure.
Yeah, Chris Overhurt wanted to talk things over. The clock was running down pretty quick there. Delta and their coaching staff not on the same page.
We'll keep things right here as we're in the later stages of this 4th quarter.
Jared, I think right here, you've mentioned it throughout the entire broadcast. Caden Bond has a good completion percentage, but not getting a lot of yardage, with the exception of that pass to Palmer Samuels, the big gain for the touchdown. But from what we've seen on this drive, that play action, I should say, to the running back, maybe see if they can get that Marauders defense moving to the right, keep that ball in Bond's hands, get to the right, at least try to get that 6 yards, because, again, that pressure that's coming in from the Marauder defense, forcing Bond to throw off his back foot, has been 2 incompletions, and that's not going to get it done here on 4th down.
And the run game, which they still have tried to incorporate this drive, trying to keep that balance. If you take away the 14-yard run that Bond had on that long 3rd and 13 conversion, it's been runs of 1 yard here, 3 yards here, -1, just hasn't been enough. And now they hurry up to the line. Bond is under center. It's going to be a pitch. Looking to pass. Samuels to Elliott. I think he got both feet in. You only need one. And there is a touchdown to Caleb Elliott off the pass of Palmer Samuels.
Well, Coach Overholt went into the bag of tricks on that one. Had his big fullback, Brody Adams, back there. Everybody was expecting run. But able to find the end zone. Great play by the Eagles offense.
And the PAT to follow it up. Pretty good showcase of kicking from the place kickers on both ends. It's a 14-point lead for Mount Vernon. Delta has 6:28 on the clock to try and get things closer.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
10-play drive for the Eagles. Caleb Elliott finds the end zone. Delta will try the onside kick, but it's a very quick and skittish kick off the turf that finds the sideline. Worth a try. You're at that point of the game.
Yeah, let's watch it here.
Back to the touchdown.
You can see it, just the pitch to Samuels, and finds Caleb Elliott in the back of the end zone there. Coach Overholt going into the tricks and treats section of your Spirit Halloween to pull that one out of the bag.
Those are probably starting to pop up, I'm guessing.
There was one in my bedroom the other day. You know, these things pop up like wildfire if you're not careful.
So it's a new Mount Vernon drive at the 50. Here's Breinthal. What can he do here on the jet sweep? He does get the edge, and he slides down wisely in play. Just a 2-yard pickup, but the clock keeps rolling.
Yeah, that wasn't a slide that he lost his feet. That was an intentional slide there by the senior. Smart play, short gain, but keeps the clock running.
Each team has 2 timeouts. Delta looking for a stop. And Mount Vernon looking to take a couple more seconds off this game and play clock. Ertl will snap it with 8. Give to Brogan up the middle. He's at the Delta 45, then he's stood up by just about everybody on the Delta defense. Brogan with a very productive game. He's averaging 6 yards a carry on his 11 total carries.
Yeah, it's basically been a 3-headed monster as far as the rushing game is concerned. You have a great game by Joliba Brogan, and then Drew Martin comes in to spell him, having a great game as well. And, of course, we've seen what Eli Bridenthal has brought to the table. So good distribution on the ground by the Marauders.
As I add up all 4 guys that have run the football between Brogan, Bridenthal, Martin, and Burhan, they are at exactly 300 yards rushing. Oh, this snap is over the head of Bridenthal, and he has to slide down to cover it. And instead of a play run on 3rd and 4, they're going to march back all the way to the 40-yard line, and it's going to be 4th and 20.
Well, there was one play that Coach Lighty did not want to see right there. It's this one. You can see they're looking over, trying to take as much time off the clock as possible.
Haven't seen any sort of mistakes.
Yeah, there it goes. Just a huge mistake.
Nothing like it so far tonight from Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Tyler Dover, very dependable. Just sailed that over Bridenthal's head.
Good punt from the Marauders, and it's fielded by Delta's Cam Wilson. So that's what the Eagles needed, a stop. Something that goes into their favor. It wasn't necessarily a stop, but now trying to capitalize off of that and make this a 1-score game.
Well, with 4:06, you got to go. There's really no room to run the ball up the middle, try to get these small chunk yards, because with 4:06, you're going to need another touch with this football. So you got to move fast here, because if you don't get the onside kick, you got to stop that Marauders defense. You need as much time as that clock as possible.
They'll start at their own 36. It'll begin with Samuels. Takes a couple of hard hits, including Burhan, who came in there. Kotlowski was the one on the tackle.
And with that run, I think Mount Vernon's okay with that. Taking value.
The other thing, too, is you're seeing is Bond, for a lot of the plays, has to come to the sideline, get it from the offensive coordinator, then he has to go back to the huddle, and that's taking some time off the clock.
Yeah. Delta facing 2 opponents right now. It's Mount Vernon and the clock.
LaBelle with a lot of pressure on the edge, and the flag comes in. I think they got the off arm wrapped around Maynard.
Yeah, Trey Fox got in there, but I think he may had some of the jersey there.
Pass interference on Mount Vernon.
Another look at it. LaBelle with the early pressure, but good, quick getting it out there by Bond.
Yeah, he had him around the head.
That right hand kind of wrapped around. That's what they got him for.
Well, that is something that the Eagles really needed.
And something else that has gone in their favor in this 4th quarter.
That's a free first down. Stops the clock. Good field position. Let's see what they can do here on first down at the Mount Vernon 46.
Bond will have 2 receivers to his left and right, and just about everybody jumps, and LaBelle knew it right away.
On the play. Offsides, Mount Vernon.
Back-to-back penalties by the MV defense.
I was just mentioning that Coach Lighty was very animated over on that sideline, and he hasn't moved an inch on this drive.
Bond going with the hard count. And you see everybody with a little flinch.
Yep.
5 free yards, Bond and Samuels in the backfield at the Mount Vernon 41. Bond, immediate pressure, moves to his right, near sideline, a nearly juggling catch. Defense applied by DJ Johnson as Chase Ritchie tried to haul that one in.
Yeah, just great defense there by the sophomore.
Covered on the play by 3, DJ Johnson.
You'll see it here. Just trying to go to that right sideline.
And not the best ball by Bond either. If he throws that maybe 2 yards more down the field.
Yeah, hits him in stride.
He might have Ritchie on the run with that catch.
Does stop the clock, though.
Not very much time wound off on that play. Here's 2nd and 5. Back to the ground game. Samuels able to slither through that hole at the line of scrimmage, and he has a first down.
And he was tripped up by Aiden Lindstrom there. If you see that, the way he fell, and there was a lot of open pasture for Samuels to get through, but Lindstrom able to take him down.
Hurry up. Bond loses it on his motion, lost it, and never had it going forward. It's a turnover and fumble recovered by Mount Vernon.
That's the first turnover of the game.
56,
Tyler Kimberly, the one we mentioned with the different colored cleats.
Mr. Dual Shoes.
And he might put the exclamation point on this contest with Mount Vernon and Delta.
Yeah, it was just got out of the hands of Caden Bond. And there were more white jerseys in the backfield than there were blue.
There's that pressure we talked about. We've seen it a lot more in this second half. It started in the third quarter, and it's been just keeping up with that Mount Vernon front 5, front 6 that they go in the box.
Barton, the ball carrier.
And at this point, I think Coach Leidy is more than going to be content with just handing the ball off to his 2 running backs. Leave it in the hands of his freshman quarterback.
Keep up the heavy dosage with Brogan and Martin as Luke Ertl in there in the pistol, letting a couple more seconds go by before they get this snap and the handoff up the middle, pushed backwards after a 3-yard pickup for Martin.
Tackle by 15.
Yeah, that run looked like it had some momentum going, but the Eagles' defense just collapsed.
3rd down.
It was led by Zane Klein. Great tackle.
Under 2 left to go. 3rd down and 6. 4 down lineman for Delta. Ertl. Wisely letting a few more seconds tick. Actually, that's Bridenthal, and Bridenthal will connect and refusing to go down and taking defenders with them and picking up the first down. That's Jaliba Brogan. How did Brogan pick up that first down?
Jarrett, we've been talking about all game is that these Mount Vernon running backs are just putting their head down, following their offensive line, and just keep their legs. I mean, look at this. Breaking tackles is carrying literally 3 Eagles defenders on him and just keeps going and gets the assist from his wide receiver. Great, great effort by the sophomore running back.
Brogan carried at least 2 defenders with him for 7 yards on that carry. Unbelievable effort. I think that's been the theme from this offense tonight. What a way to respond.
Oh, you got to give credit to the running game of Mount Vernon, but that's all predicated on an offensive line. A makeshift line for Coach Leidy this week, losing their best lineman in Roland Tremble, tore his ACL against New Pal. Heck of an athlete. Best wishes to that young man. So Coach Leidy had to rearrange some things, And what he put together tonight with Tyler Kimberly, Kyler Grill, Tyler Dover, Ben Remke, and Travis Taylor has really, really paid off.
Go east on State Road 28. It is closed.
A couple of kneel downs from Mount Vernon, and that will end things. 42-28 will be your final score. The Marauders will move to 2-3 on the season. What a response from last week's loss against New Pal. They pick up the conference win. They're now 2-1 in the HHC. Meanwhile, Delta falls to 3-2. Real quickly, we'll give you some numbers before we head out. Running the football tonight, Mount Vernon will finish with 365 yards rushing. If my math serves me correct, of course unofficial, but that's a lot better than having only 200 total yards of offense last week on your home turf against New Palestine.
And one thing that or I should say name that we didn't mention at all tonight, Jarrett, was Dean Helms, the punter. Mount Vernon, no punts this game. Kept that ball in play, either put it in the end zone, and that is a stat that I think might get overlooked considering all the special teams issues in that first half, but Mount Vernon cleaned that up in the second.
They sure did. All 6 touchdowns scored by 2 gentlemen tonight, so we'll say co-players of the game for sure. Eli Breinthal, who started the game at quarterback, finished tonight with 110 yards rushing on 14 carries. He was the leading rusher tonight for Mount Vernon and continues to be on the season. But the 3-headed monster, we got 2 more heads to mention, with Jaliba Brogan, the sophomore, 74 yards on 12 carries. Drew Martin, 14 carries for 65 yards. How about the performances from those 3 guys running the football? And we already mentioned it, but I think some sort of food is in order to be gifted to that offensive line, who just opened up tremendous holes for those 3
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Jared, even before this game started, you and I were talking that we needed to see something out of Eli Breinthal and George Burhen tonight, and boy, did we get it. And what we weren't expecting was the performances of the sophomore Brogan and Drew Martin, and they really came through. But as I had just previously mentioned, it was that makeshift line that looked like they have been playing together the whole season with Tyler Kimberly, Kyler Grill, Tyler Dover, Ben Remke, and Travis Taylor. Tyler Etherington, too, in that tight end position, just kind of moving around, kind of a decoy. And we talked about one key thing here, Jarrett, that, again, I was so impressed with Mount Vernon, was the blocking of the wide receivers to, again, allow these running backs to get the yards that they did. And as you mentioned, steak dinners. I'm not sure for these kids, but maybe some Chick-fil-A. Yep. There's a new City Bird over in Fishers I would recommend checking out. But just an overall great performance by the Mount Vernon offense today.
And, of course, want to mention the final numbers for Burhen. On 4 catches, 103 yards receiving. He finished with 3 total touchdowns, 46 yards rushing. So combine that's 150 yards of total offense for the senior that we're going to see playing at the next level next year at Purdue in West Lafayette. Tremendous performance by him, combined with a 3-touchdown game from Breinthal. That gives you your 42 points for the Mount Vernon Marauders, who down Delta tonight 42-28. Want to remind you, at IndianaSRN, unlike most broadcasts, our funding comes primarily from donations and school subscriptions. So help us out by going to our website at IndianaSRN.org. Hit that donate button. You can also hit up the coach at IndianaSRN.org. So for the rest of our team, our cameraman tonight, Eric Eaton, and for our producer, Matthew Stein, and this man right here, John Cooper, who has one more thing left to say.
One thing I do want to say about the Eagles' offense, Jared, is they did put up 28 points today, and just to credit them, because they're 2 young talents and they're going to be a dynamic duo, not just for the rest of this year, but going to the next year, were the efforts of both Caden Bond and Damari Hood today. Something for Delta to build off of, a great combination. And again, great games by Caleb Elliott and Palmer Samuels. Don't want to leave them out of the mix. And a solid effort by their offensive line as well. A lot of rushing yards that they were able to accumulate, just too much from that Mount Vernon offense today.
And the Marauders moved to 2-3 this year and 2-1 in conference play. Delta falls to 3-2. For John Cupo, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long. You've been watching Indiana High School football, powered to you this evening by IndianaSRN. Week 6 will be next week. This season is just flying by. So long, everybody.